Hey guys, this is Amit and you're watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between OnePlus Nord CE 5G versus Poco X3 Pro, and we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips, and about the prices. In the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, Nord CE have triple camera setup, 64 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor, whereas X3 Pro comes with quad camera setup, 48 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have quad camera setup. And about the front camera of the devices, Nord CE have 16 megapixel of wide camera, whereas X3 Pro have 20 megapixel of wide camera. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can take low noisy photos in low light conditions. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. Nord have LED flash, HDR and panorama, whereas X3 Pro have dual LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have dual LED flash. And about the video recording options in the devices, Nord can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 120 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization, whereas X3 Pro can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 240 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can record in high fps. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. Nord have Android 11 support, on the other side X3 Pro have Android 11 support. So it's a tie. And about the user interface of the devices, Nord have Oxygen OS, whereas X3 Pro comes with MIUI. So I will call it a tie because both of the user interface have different UI, so it's up to you. Which UI you like it or not, it's up to you. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. Nord is powered by Snapdragon 750G 5G based on 8nm processor, whereas X3 Pro is powered by Snapdragon 860 5G based on 7nm processor. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have a flagship processor which gives you faster processing speed. And about the GPU of the devices, Nord have Adreno 619 whereas X3 Pro have Adreno 640. So clearly the winner here is X3 Pro because it have flagship processor which can give you more FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. Nord can clock at 2.2 GHz based on octa-core Creo chipset, whereas X3 Pro can clock at 2.96 GHz based on octa-core Creo chipset. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, Nord have 3 options, 6, 8 and 12 GB of RAM variants, whereas X3 Pro have 2 options, 6 and 8 GB. So clearly the winner here is Nord because it have multi-RAM option and high capacity of RAM. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. Nord have 128 and 256 GB of storage, whereas X3 Pro have 2 storage options, 128 and 256 GB. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, Nord did not have any external card slot, whereas X3 Pro have shared card slot. So the winner here is X3 Pro. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. Nord have 6.43 inches of display, whereas X3 Pro have 6.67 inches of display. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have bigger screen size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, Nord have approx 84.9%, whereas X3 Pro have 84.6%. So it's a tie because both of the devices have approx the same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. Nord have Full HD Plus display, on the other side X3 Pro have Full HD Plus display. So clearly it's a tie. And about the display type of the devices, Nord have Fluid AMOLED display having 90 Hz of refresh rate, whereas X3 Pro have IPS LCD display having 120 Hz of refresh rate with HDR10 support. So the winner here is Nord because it have Fluid AMOLED which can produce more sharper and viewing angles are better in this, and the color vibrance is much more better than IPS LCD. Moving to the body features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. Nord have 7.9 mm of thickness, whereas X3 Pro have 9.4 mm of thickness. So the winner here is Nord because it have slimmer body. Talking about the weight of the devices, Nord have 170 grams of weight, whereas X3 Pro have 215 grams of weight. So the winner here is Nord because it have lighter body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, Nord have Gorilla Glass 3, whereas X3 Pro have Gorilla Glass 6. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have newer generation of glass which is more durable than its older generation. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. Nord have plastic back with plastic frame, whereas X3 Pro have plastic back with plastic frame. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same build quality. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support, so it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. Nord CE have under display fingerprint scanner. On the other side, X3 Pro have side mounted fingerprint scanner. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have side mounted fingerprint scanner, which is a physical scanner. That's why it's faster. And about the sensors in the devices, Nord have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas X3 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So again, it's a tie. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. Nord have 4500 mAh of battery capacity, whereas X3 Pro have 1560 mAh of battery capacity. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have bigger battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. Nord have 30 watts of fast charging, whereas X3 Pro have 33 watts of fast charging. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can charge up your device faster. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. Nord comes with normal speakers, whereas X3 Pro have stereo speakers. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can produce immersive sound. And about the headphone jack of the devices, Nord have 3.5 mm of headphone jack, whereas X3 Pro also have. So it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the WLAN of the devices. Both of the devices comes with Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot. So it's a tie. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, Nord have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth, whereas X3 Pro have 5th generation of Bluetooth. So the winner here is Nord because it have newest generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. Nord have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS and Navic chip, whereas X3 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS. So clearly the winner here is Nord because it have Navic chip. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, Nord comes with 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support, whereas X3 Pro have 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support. So it's a tie. Moving to the prices of the devices in the international market, starting range of Nord is around $350, whereas X3 Pro is available from $220. In the Indian market, Nord have starting range from 23,000 rupees, whereas X3 Pro is available from 19,000 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera the winner is X3 Pro, in the performance the winner is X3 Pro, in the display the winner is Nord, in the body segment the winner is Nord, in the features of the device the winner is X3 Pro, in the communication chips it's a tie, and about the prices the winner is X3 Pro. So the decision is totally yours which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below what do you think which device is better for you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what you thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.